You're listening to the Morning Punchin' Show with RB and Jae, live and direct from more cities than an Instagram model's bio. Get ready for some boxing talk on the clock. Let's face it, you're not working and somebody's got to pay for the Wi-Fi.
Good morning, everyone. It is RB and Jae. This is the Morning Punchin' Show, the most unpredictable, honest, and authentic boxing morning show in the game. Today's Monday, June 6th, 2016. Look, we're happy to be back with you this week, but we're back with a heavy heart. On Friday, June 3rd, the greatest ever, Muhammad Ali, passed away at the age of 74, surrounded by his family. The boxing community, as well as the world, mourned his death. He truly was an icon, a leader, an idol, a culture phenomenon. Let me bring on my co-host, Jeandra LaBeouf. Jay from Inglewood.
Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, RB. Good morning, everybody. Definitely great to be back with you this week, even if it's with a heavy heart on the passing of the great Muhammad Ali. But we will do our best to pay the champion the proper respects. We're looking forward to speaking with all of you and getting all your thoughts and remembrances, and looking forward to a great show in addition to recapping what happened over the weekend, RB. So great to be back with you as well.
All right. So, look, throughout the show, we're going to play remembrances to pay respect and pay homage and to honor Muhammad Ali. And we want to hear your favorite moments as well. So you can call on the show, 718-508-9852. Press 1 if you'd like to talk to us, and we'll pick you up and talk about Muhammad Ali. We're also going to have the current WBC champ, Deontay Wilder, joining us this morning. Over the weekend, we saw so many fighters, Jay, sharing their memories and favorite quotes from Muhammad Ali. And Deontay Wilder really stuck out to me. I really felt like he was genuinely hurt. And I know Muhammad Ali has made such an impact in his life and his career. So looking forward to talking to Deontay Wilder as well this morning.
Absolutely. He is carrying the torch right now for American boxing. He's making some noise. It's a different era from when Muhammad Ali held the crown, and I know that Wilder would do his best to show the sport justice. And it's been overwhelming, just in addition to the boxing community, just worldwide, the impact that Muhammad Ali just had on American and worldwide culture with his unapologetic stance on how he felt about issues, race relations, sports, and just how people were treated in America. So, wow, rest in peace, champ. We look forward to remembering you today throughout this broadcast.
Absolutely. So while we're waiting for Deontay Wilder, Jay, unless he is in the queue already.
No, we're still waiting for him to call, and he should be joining us in about 2 minutes, 2 minutes on the hour.
Okay. Well, before he comes on, why don't we just give a couple of plugs out there.
Absolutely.
Jeandra is the creator and founder of badculture.net. Make sure you visit the website. We also have some information here regarding Youth Fighting Forward that I wanted to share with everyone today listening. So there's this organization called Youth Fighting Forward in New York, and they are dedicated to creating champions inside and outside of the ring. And this organization was actually founded and created by pro boxer, Brooklyn fighter Frank Galarza. I'm sure you guys are all aware of him. So his whole mission is to engage children of all backgrounds, whether they're affected by crime, poverty, low self-esteem, and they offer mentoring and education in this organization through boxing. So if you're interested, if you have kids or any fighters and you'd like to get them in this program, they have to maintain good grades, they have to go to school, they have to have good attendance, and they can train with Frank Galarza. And they have 2 sites, one in Connecticut, one in New York. Visit champsboxingclub.org for more information and registration forms.
Wonderful. So critical to, it's really wonderful. It's so critical to keep our young people engaged in something positive, in addition to having to maintain good grades. So many times that we lose our young people to the streets is because they just don't have anything to do. While politicians keep cutting educational opportunities, after school programs, things that keep our young people doing positive things, those are the first things to get cut, but other aspects are enhanced, and it's kind of counterproductive. So shout out to Frank Galarza for founding that. That's really dope.
So let's see what else we've got going on. Look, the whole show, you know, we are going to be remembering Muhammad Ali, but we're also going to recap this weekend's fights. There was fights Friday night. If you don't know about the fight Saturday night, then, you know, I don't know what planet you live on. But it looks like we have Deontay Wilder in the queue. Let's go ahead and bring him on, Jay.
And he is on. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?
We're good, Deontay. How are you today?
I'm doing real good. Just in studios here, about to do some more interviews and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm great.
All right, great. Well, you know, we all have a heavy heart today with the passing of Muhammad Ali. And over the weekend, you were on our brains pretty heavy. And even with the things that you were posting, you know, a lot of fighters were posting things about Ali. But I really genuinely felt that you were genuinely taking it hard and hurt by it because he made such an impact in your life and in your career. Can you explain to us the impact that Muhammad Ali has made on you?
Most definitely. You know, it was a sad moment when I got that call, when I got these texts, when I was on social media looking at all these pictures. You know, it was definitely a sad moment for me. It really felt like my grandfather had died. You know, that's how I felt in my heart, you know, because this man right here, he was like one of my idols, man. He was a guy that I definitely looked up to in boxing. I still have VHS tapes 1 through 12 about this man, you know. And, you know, before I even thought about getting into boxing, I used to watch him. And when I turned pro, I had my manager, Shelly Finger, to buy me the whole story about Muhammad Ali because he know how big of a fan I was. And, you know, I used to just sit and watch the tapes. I wouldn't even eat sometimes because I go through the 1 through 12, you know, and it wasn't nothing short. So, you know, I used to watch it all the time. So it really, you know, I really admire him, and it meant a lot when I won his belt on his birthday. You know, that was even more something powerful for me, a great moment that I'll never forget. You know, it's almost, I really, you know, felt what I said. I felt that the torch was kind of sort of being passed to me, you know, knowing that I'm going to leave this boxing in good fashion for sure.
Yeah, you know, you won your WBC title by defeating Severn, and I believe that was on Muhammad Ali's birthday, was it?
Oh, correct, most definitely. On Muhammad Ali's birthday. That's why it meant so much to me.
Yeah. I mean, Ali was so authentic and so charismatic. And, you know, honestly, you do have a lot of those same qualities. And I think that's why, you know, we thought about you a lot this weekend because, you know, we'll probably never see another like him. You know, it was just so extraordinary. But we feel like you are carrying the torch and that you are one of the best representations in boxing today.
Most definitely. And you know what? You hit the nail on the head. You'll never find another fighter like a Muhammad Ali. You know, it would never be the same. You know, a lot of people can mimic him and sound like him or rehearse his rhymes and recite them. You know, but it'll never be the same. You know, no matter what, because this man, not only was he great inside the ring, but he was just as great on the outside of the ring, and that's what it takes nowadays. A lot of guys think because, you know, I can be a great fighter inside the ring, then that's enough. You know, my work will show for itself, but that's not true. It also takes that same passion outside of the ring as well, too. You know, Muhammad Ali was a small man, but his voice was heard worldwide. Everybody around the world loved him. Everybody captivated his every move and moment that he did. You know, even if they couldn't understand his language, they understood him. He still entertained them, still made them laugh, still left great memories for them. And he paved the way for all walks of life. You know, it's a lot of things. And he was the type of guy that if he said something, he believed what he said. You know, he really believed what he said. He was going to do what he said he was going to do. And nobody can tell him different. But we can go on and on about him. It's just so much that, and we definitely, really, boxing has definitely lost a great man.
Deontay, what are some of your earliest memories of Muhammad Ali?
Well, my earliest memory, I remember the Olympics and different things like that. Just because, from seeing it, I remember seeing old classic fights that would come on TV. All the major ones with Sonny Liston and Ken Norton, George Foreman, all those great fights and stuff like that. And I wish it was definitely before my time of fighting, but I just wish I was one of those people that could say that I got an opportunity to actually see him live. That would have been a great moment for me. But I did get an opportunity to meet him and shake his hand and different things like that. So I'll never forget him.
As you've walked through your career and your performances in the ring, is there something from Ali's style that you've tried to add to your own fighting style?
Well, I've had earlier in my career to admit that I have done the Ali Shuffle a couple of times before. I don't think what fighter has it. That's and actually land a combination in punches on a fighter. I've done it in sparring as well too. I think that's big. At times I've tried to rhyme and sound like him with not even knowing that I'm doing it, but just seeing so many tapes on him, and you just something that's trying to come out like that, because I don't want to copy no one. I don't want to be compared to no one. I want to build and set my own legacy, but it's okay sometimes to when you do things, it remind people of a certain fighter, Just like when I won my title, when I beat Stavern, some people posted me and / Muhammad Ali because of the way I was controlling the fight, the jabs, the way I was taunting him, sticking my tongue out, let him know that his punches didn't fade me. So many similarities, and that was just coming out natural-wise. And I think a little bit of Ali is in every fighter.
That's
definitely
great.
That bravery.
Well, look, I know that you have other things lined up today, and it was just really important for us to talk to you today and let our listeners hear from you, since you are the WBC champ today and what he meant to you. So thank you so much for opening up and sharing your memories of Ali with us. We would be doing everyone a disservice, though, if we did not ask you about what's on deck for you. There was, the unfortunate news with your last fight being canceled, but let's not focus on the negativity. Let's focus on the positive here today. And what is next, Deontay? Are we going to see you in the ring this summer? Are we going back to Alabama?
You guys would definitely see me in the ring very, very soon. We're still iron out all the wrinkles, the little bit that's left. And you may see me back at home. I've done a lot of traveling, and it took a lot out of me the last fight. It really did. And in a fighter's point of view, a lot of people won't understand it unless you're in that position and had to train your soul out and heart and with nothing. But for this reason, I'm looking to stay home. But like I said, it's still more details to come. We're trying to sum some things up, and definitely looking for a guy that's going to be for this short notice. It's a lot of guys that it's a very few guys, but it's a couple of them that could be picked for this occasion. I mean, it's going to be a short training camp, and we would need somebody that's ready. I wouldn't need no guy that would make up an excuse that they had a short period of time, because you already know what the deal is. And we're looking for a guy that's going to be able to fight his heart out and also be able to sell the tickets as well too. So we're summing it down. We see what the best man is going to be prepared for this occasion right here, and move forward. But I'm definitely looking forward to a big splash at the end of the year as well too, while I'm jumping ahead.
All right. Deontay, we do appreciate you taking out some time this morning to speak with us and sharing your memories of Muhammad Ali. Good luck to you, and we look forward to your next fight announcement.
Thank you so much. And you ladies have a great morning and a blessed day.
You too. Take care.
I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all time when I beat Sonny Liston. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time. Never again defeat me. Never again say that I'm going to be defeated. never again make me the underdog until I'm about 50 years old. Right. Then you might get me.
If you want the best, BoxStats beats the rest. BoxStats is the best boxing app for all you boxing enthusiasts and professional boxers. Perform a quick search and get all the info you want and need. BoxStats, available on the Apple App Store. Download it for free today. BoxStats, know your opponent.
All right, we are back. Shout out again to Deontay Wilder for calling in, especially on short notice. Let's jump right into this weekend's fight recaps, Jay. There was fights Friday night, Saturday night. I was kind of out of the loop on Friday night. So let's go to Jay for the fights that were in Florida. We had Barthélemy versus Mickey Bey.
Yes, the main event, Francis Barthélemy versus Mickey Bey. A fight that I was surprised that Barthélemy decisively won the fight. If you watch the fight, you know that he won by split decision. One of the scores, 117-110 for Mickey Bey, was a little bit ridiculous. If that score sounded as ridiculous to you as it did to me, it was because it was from Judge Hilton Whitaker III. Judge Hilton Whitaker III was one of the judges who, for you boxing longtime fans, who gave Paul Williams a majority decision over Erislandy Lara back in 2011 and was consequently suspended after that decision. But back to the fight. With the win, Francis Barthélemy retains the IBF lightweight title, and he goes on to possibly fight against his mandatory Richard Kame from Ghana, who was ringside for the fight. But largely the fight was, not the most scintillating. Barthélemy decisively won. Bey had spurts of activity, but largely didn't perform enough to dethrone the champion. So Francis Barthélemy goes on and continues to be the champion. The undercard events also pretty par for the course. My main focus was on the main event, so that takes care of the fight between those two. So we'll look forward to see what happens with Francis Barthélemy in the future. Also taking place on Friday. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Michelle.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say I can't say that I'm heartbroken or upset that I missed it, and I didn't even try to catch the replay or anything. So. I didn't like the matchup. Anyway, there was an LA Fight Club card too, right?
Yeah, the LA Fight Club card was a bit more lit than that card. No disrespect, but hey, we just call them like we see them over here. Headline on that card: Seniesa Estrada made the women's debut on LA Fight Club. First time a women's fight on LA Fight Club. Seniesa Estrada back in the ring, quick turnaround after appearing on the Golovkin undercard against Cristina Fuentes. She wins by unanimous decision, competitive matchup. However, Seniesa Estrada, I love watching her, but girl, defense. That girl needs to work on. My God. I did. I just want to get some pom-poms and defense. Because she ain't got none. And if she keeps messing around with some of these girls, if she takes the act on the road down to Mexico, she's going to get smooth knocked out. Because I appreciate what she's going for. She likes that Roy Jones Jr. style. Her trainer, Dean, he also trained Sergio Mora. So she's got kind of like that kind of awkward, very offensive, aggressive style. But at the same time, when you throwing out those big blows, she likes to throw those wide looping shots. A faster fighter is going to come underneath those shots and come smooth knock her out. If somebody is a master, if a young lady's a master at the uppercut, it's coming, and my girl going to be on the ground. She did get knocked down, had a flash knockdown during the fight, but she had the more power shots during the fight. So, she decisively won, but girl, defense, work on it. So, in addition to that, also on the card, Zachary Ochoa fought on the card, won by knockout in round 8, 41 seconds in, another fight that was largely not the most entertaining fight, but decisive win. It's funny, I saw Zachary Ochoa ringside at the Vargas Salido car walking around with an In-N-Out burger, but I didn't know it was him. And I tweeted, who's this guy walking around with a hamburger like it's a cocktail? But it was Zachary Ochoa. So shout out to Zachary Ochoa and your In-N-Out burger. Headlining the event, Ronnie Rios versus Efren Esquivas. Rios wins by knockout in round 2, 37 seconds in. Easy work for Ronnie Rios. Saw him at the Sugar Ray Leonard fundraiser here in LA. You can see some of my videos. I did an interview with Sugar Ray Leonard. We got Magic Johnson on there talking about he wants to see Floyd fight Golovkin. So if you want to watch those videos, go to the Bad Culture TV YouTube page and you can see those. So that is about it for LA Fight Club on Friday night.
No, well, you know what? Then I was in Philadelphia Friday night, and you had Deshaun Johnson, who was a road warrior, got the unanimous decision over DeCarlo Perez. It was really a great main event. Philly showed out, not as much as they showed out for the Jesse Hart fight, but that fight, there were some words that were exchanged in the crowd between Jesse Hart, Deshaun Johnson, wants his rematch, he was screaming, he was yelling, he was pointing, he was trying to jump over people to get with Jesse. He was hiring back. That was pretty fun. Not sure we'll see that rematch anytime soon, but it was a good fight in Philly nonetheless. DeCarlo Perez fought his heart out. So let's move on to Saturday, Jay, at StubHub, where you were at covering Live. Talk to us about the atmosphere at StubHub and the Ali tribute.
Wow, StubHub Arena, LA, you showed up and showed out again. A great fight at the StubHub Arena. Congratulations to Golden Boy for coming back. Golden Boy for coming back strong with a great main event. The atmosphere was electric. Wow. I'm at a loss. I have my words, but I'm a loss at words because that main event was so exciting. So let me start with Francisco Vargas versus Orlando Salido. When they announced this fight, we knew this was going to be an exciting fight, but it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. I've been watching boxing for a lot of years, since my childhood, before I actually started doing media, and that fight was incredible. Hands down fight of the year so far. We still have a lot of the year left of 2016. Non-stop actions. It doesn't matter if you're a defensive purist and you like that more style. That was a damn good fight. And anybody who has any complaints about that fight, then I feel sorry for your life, because that fight was fantastic. Those guys went toe-to-toe from the minute the bell sounded. There were people who said Salido came in with his headbutts, and Vargas, we won't even get into talking about his positive testing before the fight. But there was something interesting that Eric Gomez said in the post-fight press conference. He said that Francisco Vargas now holds the title in the state of California as the most drug-tested fighter ever, being tested a record something like 16 times from the time of the positive testing to the main events, and they would just do pop-ups and take vials of blood for him to test him for clenbuterol or any other banned substances before the fight. So I guess that erases the taint, I guess, of positive testing, I guess.
It's surprised that he wasn't weak during the fight. I mean, with all the blood that was taken from him the weeks leading up to the fight, I think he would have been drained. But, it's so crazy, Jay, because Friday night we lost Muhammad Ali. Saturday night, we were rewarded with this classic fight, this Mexican brawl, sweet mayhem. And I'm like, boxing is the most emotional relationship that I think I've ever been in. You can go from being sad and mad to happy and hyped. And, Vargas Salido is why boxing is so awesome. You had two hardcore, relentless warriors in there that were rumbling a phone booth. It was terrific. So at the end of the day, Francisco Vargas retained his title after going the distance to Salido, and it was a bloodbath. It was called a majority draw. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the draw. Too. Maybe because I'm selfish, because I want to see the fight again.
Definitely. They definitely got to bring that back. They gotta bring that back. That fight was amazing. Definitely.
They opened up the first round exchanging heavy blows. It was all guts, all glory. It was beautifully brave, beautifully brutal. It was bloody. There are a couple unsung heroes that we have to shout out. Number one, Robert Diaz, the matchmaker at Golden Boy, for making the fight. Without him, we wouldn't have had that fight. Another unsung hero Saturday night is Cutman Mike Rodriguez, who kept Vargas in the fight. Vargas had 3 nasty cuts, Jay. He was swelling. He was bleeding. And Mike Rodriguez really kept that under control. He stopped blood from gushing. He kept the swelling down. He patched the cuts. I mean, by round 3, I didn't think that kid was going to make it through 12 with his face cutting up. So kudos to the cut man. Look, I don't really care what Orlando Salido's record is. He's a bad mofo. His record is solid. His manager said after the fight that they are 100% committed to making the rematch.
For those of you who don't appreciate the warlike quality of this fight, I just tweeted out a photo of Francisco Vargas' face that I took at the post-fight press conference. The cuts, the bruises, the just amazing fight. Non-stop action is what the fans wanted. The StubHub Arena went crazy, and a fantastic fight.
It definitely lived up to the hype.
Also on the card, I'm sorry, go ahead, RB.
I was going to say, no, on the co-main event, Abraham Lopez versus Julian Ramirez. Jay?
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah. A snoozer of a fight. I'm sorry, gentlemen. You're both, lovely young people, but real snoozer. And what ultimately ended with Abraham Lopez getting his hand raised over Julian Ramirez. Judges' final scores 98-92, 97-93, 97-93. Unanimous decision all for Lopez. But what was so shocking about that decision was we, and when I say we, I don't mean the royal we as in just myself, we as in the media section, all 40, 50 of us who were sitting ringside and a number of the fans, we really felt that Julian Ramirez did enough to win that fight. And it was so shocking, the announcement of that fight, that we sat there for a second and we just looked at Michael Buffer and thought, is he giving us a Steve Harvey? Is he going to announce that the Philippines really won the fight? But no, he did not give us a Steve Harvey. And Abraham Lopez, no disrespect to Abraham Lopez, I just didn't think he won that fight. And a number of my peers surrounding me also felt that he didn't win that fight, but he got the victory. And Julian El Camarón Ramirez suffers his first loss. Both of these young guys were undefeated fighters, but I don't agree with that decision at all. But on the whole, the fight wasn't that exciting.
My entire Twitter that night seemed confused too, Jay, and I was actually in the airplane trying to hurry up to get home for the main event. Everybody seemed confused, flabbergasted, and that sucks when that happens to guys. It really does.
It really does. It really does. It was shocking. I think Ramirez was shocked. I mean, I think that Lopez was kind of too, but that's neither here nor there. A win is a win, and Julian El Camarón Ramirez is a young kid, very young, so he can grow from this. One loss doesn't mean it's the end of the world, but I didn't feel like Lopez won that fight, but you didn't hear that from me. Going on to the rest of the card, Gabe Rosado was also on that card against, I'm so sorry, fans. I don't have the competitor's name right in front of me. I got cut up off my notes. And, Gabe comes out. There you go. Gabe comes out in his Rams colors to Tupac. That was L.A. at its best. Mexicans cheering on a Puerto Rican coming out in Rams colors to Tupac. It was great. But the wave of love soon turned because, I don't know, Gabe looked like he was getting worked out in that fight. And that kid that was fighting him came to give him that work. And at the conclusion of the fight, Gabe had his hand raised. And the crowd did not like it at all. But in a display of good sportsmanship, Gabe walked around and raised the hand of his competitor. A good scrap, but the crowd didn't like the decision, to say the least.
All right. Also Saturday night on ESPN, Arthur Beterbiev remains undefeated. He got the TKO victory over Moderna in the main event on ESPN. I forgot all about that event. I forgot all about that fight. So who watched that fight?
So did a lot of people.
Call in 718-508-9852. Press 1. We'd love you to break down what happened on ESPN to us.
Yes, please do. I was having a with Toledo Vargas. I wasn't watching it. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Let's take a quick commercial and we'll be right back with Jay and Muhammad.
Let's do it.
The Caribe Hilton Hotel in San Juan, Puerto Rico will host the 29th WBO convention October 17th through October 21st. The World Boxing Organization is a sanctioning organization currently recognizing professional boxing world champions such as Sergey the Crusher Kovalev, Gilberto El Zurdo Ramirez, Terrence Bud Crawford, Jesse La Nueva Generación Vargas, Roman Rocky Martinez. Registration forms and advertising opportunities are on our website at WBOboxing.com. The WBO also has a mission that extends beyond the ring, so help join the WBO on this fight. And for more information on the WBO convention in Puerto Rico and the Kids Drug Free program, visit WBOboxing.com.
And we are back. You are listening to the Morning Punch-In Show with RB and Jae. If you'd like to call in, today we are remembering the great Muhammad Ali. If you'd like to call in and share your memories of Muhammad Ali, the call-in number is 718-508-9852, or you can tweet Raging Babe or myself, Jay LaBeouf, and we will read some of your responses on the air if you are sharing them on Twitter. In keeping with the tradition of the Morning Punch-In Show, I did go out and record an installment of Jaywalking this weekend, but with the sad passing of Ali, I thought it would be only right to pay respect to the champion by focusing the Jaywalking segment around that. So I went around the media row and I talked to some of my favorite media members to get their remembrance of Muhammad Ali. Shout out to Francisco Salazar, Boxing Scene, Mike Baca of UCN, Damian Calhoun of the OC Register, and Radio Raheem of Seconds Out. And I got their remembrance. So on this installment of Jaywalking, I asked these gentlemen to share some of their favorite memories of Muhammad Ali. And here it goes.
I think I'd cheat if I could only name 5. For me, my top 5, I can't pick one. My top 5 are his fight against Joe Frazier, 1 and 3. My third one is when Muhammad Ali fought Cleveland Williams, and throughout the fight kept asking him, "What's my name? What's my name? What's my name?" That stands out. And then also when he first won the world title against Sonny Liston. And then the final moment that sticks out to me is when in 1980, 1981, when he talked down a suicidal man that was on the ledge. Not only did that show that he was, a humanitarian, but he was a human being. And a lot of people look at him as a brash, cocky, overconfident, but if you look at him away from the ring, he was all about money. He was not about fame. But that guy was a humanitarian and went out of his way for people. And how can you not like someone like that? And I think that really personified him as a great fighter and a great individual. And when you look up the word greatness, that's what you get. And on top of that, look at how he personified social media Friday night. Celebrities, actors, athletes from all walks mentioned something. That says a lot about a man who really, really left a mark on boxing and athletics and on and in the world.
All right, this is Jay, and I'm out here with Mike Baca from UCN, and he's going to share what his favorite Muhammad Ali moment is.
My favorite Muhammad Ali moment, I would have to say I was 9 years old. The torch lighting at the Olympic Games in Atlanta. Obviously, I didn't get to watch his fights, being a millennial and all. But yeah, seeing him light the torch, and it begged the question for me to ask my dad who that was, because obviously it was important. And in that same moment, I asked, why is his arm shaking? So I kind of learned in that moment, exactly who he was, how he was inflicted with Parkinson's disease, being a boxer and all. And that really resonated with me. And I remember later after that summer, doing a book report on Muhammad Ali, and I think I was in the 5th grade. And to really point out how he transcended sports, I really don't even think I mentioned boxing all that much in that book report. And, it goes to show how big of a person Muhammad Ali was. He was much more than a boxer. And, as the reports came in that he was in grave condition, it was kind of obvious. And to be honest, it was a sense of relief when we got the news late last night. There's no more suffering. and his body won't be here. And he was kind of a prisoner of his own body in his later years. But his soul will forever live on, as, you know, I'm certainly going to tell my kids about it, you know, and show them what it means to be a real human being. And that's really the moment that I remember Muhammad Ali. And, you know, it really sparked the flame of, coincidentally, of, you know, what it means to be a real superstar.
I'm with Damian Calhoun of the Orange County Register, and I'm asking what his favorite Muhammad Ali moment is.
Besides his appearance on Different Strokes, which is a classic appearance, it's just watching all his fights, watching all of his interviews. I mean, that was really like gravitated me toward him. Always had the right words to say. Seems to be, he would probably be the perfect person. I would have loved to interview once. Great soundbite, great fighter. That's just pretty much what drew me to him. You know, watching him as I was growing up, just watching all that.
When Muhammad Ali was asked how he'd like to be remembered, and he gave the ingredients of how he'd like to be remembered, you would think it was something just contrived in the moment, or maybe even frivolous just because he's a rhymer and off the top of his head he can spit like that. But there was a moment when he was telling the interviewer the measurement of what he wanted to be remembered for, at what measure, and he said a teaspoon of generosity, meaning that the ingredients in his mind were actually measured to the exact amount, and this recipe that he was sharing was something that he had actually put together with consistency. So that was my favorite moment, when you just realize how the mind works, and then you'll have to go and look up what the combination of ingredients were and what the measurements were. It's phenomenal, as he was a phenomenal man.
And we are back. So shout out again to my guys for taking the time to talk with me at the fight. Exciting fight going on, but very generous with their time to share their favorite Muhammad Ali memories. Bringing it back to us here at the Morning Punch-In Show as we continue to mourn with the boxing world and the world worldwide on Muhammad Ali. My earliest memories of Muhammad Ali, I grew up in a household that was heavy in sports, but my father was always very fond of baseball and, of course, of boxing. And I remember my earliest memory, I'm older than probably a number of our audience, but I, too, was too young to really see him fight live. I was 3 when he was in the later part of his career. But what I do remember is watching some of those fights, and I just remember being in the kitchen with my dad. And it always seemed like, because he liked to cook, and it seemed like whenever I needed to get something out of a drawer, he was always in my way. And when I try to reach around him, he'd do that move that Ali would do when he was fighting against Michael Dokes. Like, he'd be like, dodging and weaving and trying to get away from me. And then when I'd say, stop it, he'd do that little, like, shake his hips thing and stick his tongue out at me like, nah, like Ali did in that fight with Michael Dokes. And I never understood when I was really young why he was doing that. And then one day I saw the fight with him, and I thought, that's where my crazy-ass dad got that from. So that's one of my earliest remembrances of Muhammad Ali. But my dear father, rest in peace, was a great admirer of Muhammad Ali, how he stood up for his convictions, his beliefs, the way he articulated himself, his selflessness, his bravery in front of a nation that hated him for his skin color, for his worship practices, but at the same time still admired him in the ring. So, Dad, I love you. I hope you guys are exchanging some good stories and some dance movements and, just talking it all out. So that is probably my earliest memories of Muhammad Ali. How about you, RB?
Yeah, that was beautiful, Jay. I'd like to share a memory that was shared with me, actually, and it's from Simone Mustafa Davis. Her husband is Eddie Mustafa. And so she grew up in New York, and he would say that Muhammad Ali used to give her money for her school books. And that's really awesome. And she said one time he drove through a McDonald's drive-thru, and ordered 350 Happy Meals to throw over the fence at the school for the kids. So this is just the type of guy he was, and it was so natural for him to be that way. He was such a wordsmith. He was humorous. He helped as many people as he could. He stood up for his beliefs no matter what. He tackled race, religion, politics. He sacrificed his own livelihood. He was a leader, you know, and at the same time, he was confident and he was cocky, but, you know, he was such a social figure. Everyone on the planet knew Muhammad Ali. Everyone in the solar system knows Muhammad Ali. And he inspired millions of people. He touched millions of hearts. He was a gold medalist. He guaranteed victories. He was the ultimate warrior inside and outside of the ring. He fought all over the world, Jay. He was a real world champion. He fought in the United States. He fought in Britain, the Philippines, Switzerland, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia. I mean, true definition of a world champion. And he is unforgettable. You cannot overstate anything when it comes to him. His personality was magnetic. Just something that you have never seen in sports before. It doesn't matter if you're in your 20s or if you're in your 40s or if you're in your 70s. He was truly one of a kind, and I think he will be remembered forever, and there will never be another one like him.
That's right. That's right.
If we have anybody in the switchboard that has won and would like to come on the show and share their favorite Muhammad Ali memory or moment, we'd like to go to the switchboard now and pick someone up.
All right, let's pick up a caller. 812-760, you're on. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Jay and RB? This is Joey from Indiana.
Hi, Joey.
What's up, Joey?
Hey, how y'all doing? Hey, I just want to say, man, for me, for Ali, my fondest memory, I got a lot of memories, and I'm a book junkie, so I started watching boxing like real late, like in 2007. That's when I really became, like, fell in love with it. So I used to always go to local libraries and just check out like books on all the old legends. But I do knew who he was because I was still am a big like WWE fan. And, you know, when I was a kid, we used to watch wrestling, and I remember when we rented WrestleMania 1 from the local video store. In the main event, Muhammad Ali was the special guest referee. And then at the end, they had him celebrating with Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. So that was kind of like my introduction to him. And then I remember, like, a couple years later, he was on the episode of Different Strokes. I don't know if you guys ever remember that with Arnold. Arnold wanted to meet him really bad. So that's when I really, you know, got onto him. But going back into reading on him, I mean, what stands out to me the most about him was just the way he could, I mean, the dude was just a cultural icon. I mean, having to know Malcolm X on a personal level and Dr. King, I mean, that's big. I mean, that's stuff that, you know, will be talked about forever, you know, for the next generation. And then for me, like, what I liked about him is the way he used to get under his opponent's skin. I mean, to this day, there's no fighter that can do what he was doing. I mean, I remember I was reading on one time he had went to Sonny Liston's camp, or no, Sonny Liston was like at the casino gambling or something, and Ali rode up there and he was just taunting him, making dudes so mad that he pulled out like a gun and shot blanks in the air, and he chased Ali's camp out of that casino. But that was funny. But the most thing that I respect the most about him is when that Thriller Manila fight between him and Joe Frazier. I mean, them guys was just. I saw the fight. I watched it on YouTube, but I like when I read it better because there's just more detailed information when you read it. I mean, they said them guys were just slugging at each other the whole fight, and then I believe it was the 14th round. They said that was the closest they've ever been to death. Like, both fighters said that later on, but they were like, they couldn't even get up. And Frazier wanted to get up, and his camp was like, dude, you can't do it no more. And Angie Dundee was like, man, just get up. You're going to win. They're going to quit over there. So Ali had enough, whatever what was inside of him to make him get off that stool. That's what made him so special. I mean, you can't – a lot of people don't have that in them. And whatever that was inside of him that made him get up, and look, he ended up winning that fight. So just – I mean, I could keep going on and on, but just his overall character, like – he just had such an impact. And look at Deontay Wilder. I mean, he impacted him. What's ironic about that for me personally, ladies, is I attended a fight in St. Louis Devin Alexander fight back in 2012, and I had actually decent seats, and I took with me a Muhammad Ali Sports Illustrated collection book with all classic photos of him. And I just took the book so I can get some autographs signed for some boxers, and it's crazy that you brought Deontay on because he was really one of the first fighters that signed the book for me. At the time, he had his braids. He was fighting on like a Golden Boy undercard and stuff. He was just up and coming. He was a real nice guy, and he actually signed the Ali book. So to me, that's kind of, that I'll hold that special forever. But I mean, just the impact he had on boxing, and I've been following a lot of Mike Tyson's tweets and posts, and I can tell he really had a big impact on Tyson's life as well. So he's truly going to be missed, and I really think going into that fight Saturday night, I mean, everybody had heavy hearts. The hardcores did, and what Salido and Vargas did in that ring, I mean, I don't know if it was just me having a heavy heart, but it was just so special. And after watching that fight, I was like, this is why, I told my wife, I said, this is why I love boxing, because this right here, I mean, after the fight, I left and got a quick drink real quick. I didn't even care who won because I felt like the whole boxing as a whole won that night. So
that's right, Joe.
But that was my that's my take on Ali. May God rest his soul. And I'm close to Louisville, Kentucky. If I can work at it where I can get off early Friday, I'm gonna try to. I'm only about an hour and a half away. I'm gonna try to see if I can get up there and go to the funeral service. I'm not sure I can get off, but I'm gonna try my best.
All right, Joey. Well, thank you so much.
Ladies.
We appreciate you sharing with us. Thank you, Joey. So with that, just the profound impact of Ali as a whole. So thank you. Thank you once again for sharing your memories. Thank you once again to our gentleman.
What would you like people to think about you when you've gone?
I'd like for them to say he took a few cups of love. He took 1 tablespoon of patience, 1 teaspoon of generosity, 1 pint of kindness. He took 1 quart of laughter, 1 pinch of concern, and then he mixed willingness with happiness. He added lots of faith, and he stirred it up well. Then he spread it over a span of a lifetime, and he served it to each and every deserving person he met.
Muhammad Ali, thank you very much.
When the mind is ready, the body prepares for war. So next time you engage in battle, protect your hands with the best. War Tape, the original branded tape. Order yours now at wartapebrand.com and see why the enemy will fear you. wartapebrand.com. We put hands on you.
All right, that's right. wartapebrand.com, an official sponsor of the Morning Punch-In Show with RB and Jae and The Ruckus on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. War Tape is the original branded athletic tape. All of the champions worldwide wear the best tape. It's no coincidence. Make sure you visit wartapebrand.com. Let's dive, Jay, right into Word on the Curb. We have gone a couple weeks without talking to our listeners and our friends. So let's see. I got some word on the curb here. Guess who's back in Philly? Guess who's back training?
Uh-oh.
Mike Jones.
Oh, my God. Mike Jones!
Who? Listen, he is back in Philly. Things were not going too good for him in Las Vegas. He's back in Philly. He's training at the Johan Gym. Word on the curb is he wants to fight soon. Word on the curb is B-Hop, Bernard Hopkins, has been counseling Mike Jones. They're training out of the same gym. They're spending some time together. I think Bernard has given him some advice. I think he feels a little bad for him. You know, he wants to see the kid make it. Will we see Mike Jones with Golden Boy promotion? That could very well happen. So stay tuned. Word is Mike Jones wants to fight probably in early fall, September, October. So Mike Jones is back, y'all. He is back. More word on the curb is Danny Garcia versus Andre Berto is super, super, super close to being made. Now, we told you a month or two ago when they announced Victor Ortiz and Andre Berto that the whole goal was to make DSG Berto if Berto beat Ortiz, which he did. So it looks like that fight is formulating nicely, and it will land in Brooklyn on September 7th. So they were looking at August at first, and I don't know what's going on in August, but it's going to be pushed into September. On that undercard, we're probably going to see Jamal Charlo versus Julian Williams. Word on the curb is Jamal Charlo has accepted that fight, wants the fight, says make the fight, and it will probably be the co-feature on Garcia Berto in Brooklyn, September 7th. How you like that, Jay?
I like that. Hey. Yay, boxing. I like it.
All right, the last little bit of word on the curb I have is I tried to get it out of Deontay Wilder for you guys. He just wouldn't spit it all the way out. But the word on the curb is that he is fighting in July and that he is going to fight in Alabama. And it will most likely be Chris Arreola. There are some issues with Chris Arreola not being ranked in the top 15. But Chris Arreola does make the best sense. It's short notice. He'll be ready. He's been in camp. He's a name. He's a ticket seller. I mean, you heard what Deontay said. He wants somebody who's going to be ready, who can market the fight, who could sell a couple tickets. But it is most likely going to end up back in Alabama for his hometown fans.
Oh, boy.
So that's all I got for the word on the curb. Jay, we could go into this week's fight schedule if you'd like.
Let's do it. Let's go into fight night. Cue up some amigos. Get ready for some fight night. So coming up this weekend, the Morning Punchin' Show is taking the show on the road. We are headed to the Big Apple, to the NYC. Excuse me. So this weekend in New York, HBO, Roman Rocky Martinez versus Vasil Lomachenko for the WBO junior lightweight title. So that will be headlining the HBO card. Also on that card, the Puerto Rican sensation Felix Verdejo will be fighting against Juan Jose Martinez. Also, Zhu Shiming versus Joseph Aditai is fighting on that card. Yes, indeed, Mike Reed. Shout out to Mike Reed. He'll be on that card as well, coming through from HBO, from Madison Square Garden on Saturday on HBO. Also on Saturday on Showtime, upstate New York. New York is where it's at this weekend. Ruslan Provodnikov versus John Molina Jr. headlining the main event there in Verona, New York. In the co-feature, Demetrius Andrade versus Willie Nelson. And also on the card, Dejan Zalkanin versus Franklin Mamani. Also on the card, Willie Monroe makes his return to the ring also on that card. So New York is where it's at. HBO got it in Madison Square Garden. Showtime's got it in Verona. Pick one, choose one. Just watch some fights. And if you in the NY area, in the city area, you might see to your favorite girls.
So RB Jae, we are hitting NYC. We will be at the Lomachenko Martinez fight. The Raising Babe brunch is Saturday morning. We are honoring Kathy Duva. We've gotten a tremendous amount of support for this event. It's really been overwhelming, actually, with all of the support. Before we wrap up today, I want to talk a little bit about a boxing app that's available on the Apple Store. It's called BoxStats app, and it's the best boxing app for, whether you're a fan, a boxing enthusiast, a manager, a fighter. You get the latest boxing news. You perform a quick search for a fighter. You get results. You can share results. You simply type in a name, and BoxStats does all the research for you. So you can find out about someone's amateur background. You can see some of their sparring sessions. You can look up their box rec. I mean, you can do everything on BoxStats through various platforms. So make sure you go to the Apple App Store to download that, and it is free. You can visit their website at boxstats.org. Also, guys, over the past year, working with John Francis LLC, and we've been educating fighters on wealth protection strategies such as life insurance, disability, trust, and managing accounts and other policies. If you are a manager, a promoter, a fighter, if you're a wife listening to the show and you want to learn more about wealth protection and those type of policies, please hit me up, tweet me, DM me. You can email me at michelle@rageandbeat.com. But John Francis is doing an amazing job with protecting fighters and protecting their purses. There's unfortunate things that happen, and these fighters don't know that they can protect themselves a little better. So anyway, Jay, I thank you so much for being the best partner anybody could ask for. Today, we, honored and paid respect to Muhammad Ali. I feel like it was awesome to take some callers and to hear from people in LA, and especially Deontay Wilder on short notice calling in. That was so clutch.
Yeah, that was excellent. Deontay Wilder, a real generous guy. You can't help but be a fan of the guy, and we wish him the best of luck and thank him once again for sharing his very personal memories of Muhammad Ali with us and with our audience.
Yeah, so RB&J will be back Wednesday, 8 p.m. on The Ruckus. Appreciate you listening today. You guys are always amazing. You can catch us every Monday morning from 8 to 9. So let's close out and say, for the thriller and the rumble, for the butterfly and the bee, rest in peace, Muhammad Ali, the greatest, the best ever. One love.
One love.